What's up, guys? We back at it again with another video. As y'all can see, my nice avatar, my number one ace, the one unit that has gave me so many victories is right here. That's that Dragonic Blade Master. But enough about him. Today we're going over this premium Nubatama deck that I trying to make is actually combination between the new Hanzo and all the vanilla support that we've gotten. Um I can tell you one thing, it does have bad matchups with decks that retire or whatnot. And I but it does have good matchups versus like stuff like Fenrir, because it can generate a lot of PGs before the opponent can even start their turn. So you ride Hanzo, then you ride another Hanzo on their turn. So there, right there, you have two PGs. Let me show you. So let's go to the testing area. So right now we have this Hanzo right here and this Hanzo. So let me ride into a grade 2 first. Let me ride into a grade 2 first, so y'all can see what I mean. So at first, we ride this Hanzo. Depending on your matchup, you either want to go protect 2 or protect 1. And like multi-attack scenarios, go protect 2. It works very well with Hanzo. In other cases, go protect 1 when you're facing like decks with high numbers that you can't really protect without it. So first go protect 1. On the opponent's turn, drop this, discard 2. So it has to be at the beginning, and you have to have this card as your Vanguard. But lucky for him, he re-rides, and he doesn't have a skill like Dragonic Vanquisher where you don't get another protect. So you ride another protect, get another protect, and then at the end of the turn, re-ride back into Hanzo, get another protect. And what's really good about this is that the other Hanzo can call himself out. Can call himself out by retiring an evil decoy token or just any grade 0. But at the end of the turn, it can go back into the soul. So I have stuff like the new grade 2 to generate more. First, I can generate more tokens. And second, I can return this back to my hand so I can start it all over again. We have the vanilla stuff to get that sort of hand advantage that we're looking for within this deck. Like we already got like rear guards that can intercept from the back row. Got this good generating protect gifts. We also got Zazan in here if it ever comes up. We don't have any way of getting it out, but we still have it in there so we can just plus. Other than that, is real anxious. One thing we are going in here is putting in here is Evil Eye Wisdom King Shiranui rename. So I tested this. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. You can really do this on the first turn if you get your Tempest Sphere quick enough. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good versus that Mega Colony matchup. Okay, so you say I can't call anything from hand. Okay, I won't call anything from hand, and instead I'll make you call from hand and make you have to guard with that. And if I have 2 vanilla units, bam, I have these vanilla units with so much power. It's just crazy. So it's really combining the vanilla build with Jakumetsu and Cyclone with some previous Nubatama builds. Obviously, I'm going to show you two replays. It still needs more testing. I've only tested this two, like 3 4 times, 2 3 4 times. Is pretty good, but I need to change up the deck even more. So without further ado, here we go. Put in Hanzo test. Not gonna waste time and just go to speed 3. So from the looks of it right here, like this is a decent hand. Um, we do run the zero off dragon, so having another Hanzo in hand is pretty good. Our opponent unfortunately was also running a vanilla build. This is vanilla PBO with chain ranker, and all of that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, I couldn't find a way to defend against a lot of the attacks. Um, and then the Chainraker's skill to just give the entire formation, just give the entire formation. Well, until the end of my turn, I can only guard with 3 cards from hand. So every attack, 3 cards. Oh, 3 cards. Oh, 3 cards. But here we go. We go into Hanzo, go into the grade 2. At this point, I was contemplating whether I should call a rear guard or not, but I decided to call a rear guard since I had an open counter blast. I can use the skill to gain more advantage. So now counter blast, call 2 grade 0 evil decoy tokens and gain 10,000 power from that. We pushed them to 4 damage before they even hit their stride. Now here's my opponent was moving a little too fast, so I decided to use my skill, but then I get protect 1. So the reason I got protect 1 is because this deck does hit for high numbers if you let them get too out of control. It was cyclone, all that. It's just I'm not finna leave myself open when you have a card that can retire my formation and and I call protect 2, and now I don't have anything to guard with. But all my rear guards were at 10k shield, and everything could intercept, so it would have been nice. Now here my opponent made a misplay where he called these 2 to the back row. These gray ones do not have boosts. So for whoever uses this deck build, these gray 2s do not have boosts. So if you attack with them, so you gotta attack with them. You can't call them to the back row. You shouldn't call them to the back row. So now I'm going to stride. Um, I'm still going with a basic call to. Okay, first I'm gonna attack one of your rear guards. Then I'll attack your vanguard. I'll attack your vanguard, calling 2 tokens. So now this is coming in at 19. Then I attack, retire these 2 tokens. So now I get to retire the 2 tokens, flip up a cyclone, return all my rear guards to hand, and then just call another 2 more rear guards. I decided to call these 2 to try to get more damage through. So as you can see, my opponent has 2 PGs in hand and decides not to use them. And I was like, interesting. My opponent has a big hand, so I decided to go all on the Vanguard, but it did not work. Now on to my opponent's turn. He decides to go into another chain breaker. So this is his second go, and he decides to flip up another cyclone. So at this point, I was like, okay, big numbers, big numbers. My opponent can do multi attacks, can do 4 attack. 4 attacks, and I gotta guard every attack with at least 3 cards, and I was like, this is very dangerous. I was in that position like, oh, I might die. I might die, but he's at 5 damage, so if I can survive, then it's all good. My opponent attacks with this. I realize that I can't guard this without, because he does have. I realized that it was grade 1 or less. And I was like, okay. My opponent decides to retire one. I was like, okay. So what can I do to stop this? If not, I will lose a big part of my hand. So instead of going into the G flip, trying to have him discard so I can win next turn, I decided to actually take out his rear guard. Their way, I can mess up his form. I can mess up his formation and guard the rest of these attacks with ease. So that I guard for no pass. They get no triggers. So I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this. GG's. GG's. So I take the damage. At this point, I'm thinking, oh, I got 2 Hanzos in hand. Bet it up. Generation Zone Kaiho. Even if I, even if I don't make it through all of this, my opponent still has to discard 2 cards and ride one, and therefore one. He has 3 cards in hand, and I'm attacking with big power. First, I call Zazan, make everything humongous with the cyclones. Then call the 2 units right here. I do gotta say, I do want to put the gray one that discards, draws, and gives countercharge and whatnot, because this deck can run out of counterblast real fast. And the only countercharge unit I have is this gray 2 stealth dragon. But other than that, that was a pretty good showing. But what's some fun decks without a little, Gizai? When we think of fun decks, we think of Gizai. Me and my opponent was just having fun. This is the same opponent I went against. Have a name saying not Gizeh, then you gonna run Gizeh against me. What? What type of hypocrisy is this? What type of hypocrisy is this? Oh, yeah. Check out this gray one. This gray one is so good. So good. Like, retire 2, get 2 tokens, and I can use this skill to try and get another Hanzo. The Hanzo that I need. Like, if I have this, I can go for the other Hanzo. That's just so clutch. So clutch. Um, at this point in time, you will see, from now on, after my opponent deals a damage to me, that they will no longer deal a point of damage again during this turn. Well, during this whole game, actually, they will not try to go for another damage, because that's how Gize works. You push your opponent to 1 damage, and then you let them deal with that 1 damage and work from there. I could also put Bobo in here. Bobo, we all love the Bobo. I'm just still looking out for those spots where I can replace a card. What cards can I replace? But right now, I'm not worried about that. Right now, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about getting out this content to y'all. And so I call my vanillas, do the vanilla plays. I can no longer use counterblast for the rest of the turn, so I might as well hit them with big numbers. My opponent cannot gain power from these trigger effects. So I'm just going hard. Big numbers. You can't do nothing. But then they ride this, trying to stop me from standing up units. I see. Hmm. Does that do anything to my pride? Yes, it does. But I'm just gonna let them attack all. I'm gonna let them crash into my rear guards because if you're not gonna let me stand units, why would I keep them on the field? I ride, stride, I go into. What did I go into? Here it is. Shiranui Makuro. Dominate the Vanguard. And before you say something, yes, I'm at GB2. I'm at GB3, actually. My opponent thinks that they can drive check. No, I'm supposed to drive check. Your Vanguard is mine. Your Vanguard is mine. Thank you. Put those cards back, my boy. Now you will see. Drive trigger check is a critical trigger. Critical to my Vanguard. And then let's call another vanilla. 15k to both vanillas. Hoping to get a critical trigger that I did not get. First check, second check, third check, and now 60k at the Vanguard. How can you block these attacks? Jesus Christ. Now imagine we wasn't facing Mega Colony or Shadow Paladin, a deck that literally has us retiring rear guards. This will be so much spice. So much spice. We could use Yamabushiki to bounce Zazan to hand, call two rear guards, and then, like, either way, as long as we can keep Zazan on the field, we can keep on bouncing it and using it. It's just so good. I like this deck. This deck is so fun. This deck is so fun. And it can counter Fenrir. So I can get back into the game. I can get back into the game with this deck, probably. Because everybody knows. Everybody knows Fenrir with this infinite loop. Like, why even play that? Why should I even play the game? Uh, I decided to retire my rear guards because I don't need them. I don't need them. My opponent, my opponent is just going to arrest them anyway, so I just need to push for that damage. Everything was hitting for magic numbers over 15k. So I was like, okay, let's get to it. Let's get jiggy. You want to get jiggy? Let's get jiggy. I call two to multi attack. Um, I definitely. How did my opponent get out of this? Oh yeah, he healed. Healed. I should have. Well, even so, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. Attack for 38. My opponent is at 5 in bind zone, and they decide not. They decide to discard the one unit that they actually need to ultimate stride. But even if they did ultimate stride, um, I don't think they could have done anything. From then on, they would have called. They would have called. They zero off dragons, and I would have gone for game, sort of. Um, I think this works on. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work on Gize. So because Gize wipes out everything. So at the point where they will ultimate stride, they will only have Gize and this unit in hand. So I would still have one column free. Talking about it's rested. Okay, it's rested. Let me ride. Let me stride. Let me go into the big boy, and let me make sure you got a guard with a lot. 54 at the Vanguard. Critical trigger, and another 6 damage. I swear to God, I can swear to you, my guys, that anytime I face against a deck, they decide to want a miracle heal and stuff. But I beat my opponent 1-6. It was Gize though, so don't be happy for me. Um, that was a nice showing. If you agree, press that like button and subscribe, my boys. Press that like button and subscribe. Subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. So without further ado, thank you for watching the episode of Cardfight Vanguard X-Twin de Comichiari. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.